New pictures released this morning give clear views of the man suspected in the killing of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson. New York police have not said where these pictures were taken, but say he stopped at a Starbucks before going to shoot Thompson on a Manhattan street. Thanks for joining us for 9 News at Noon. I'm Lawrence Gafidi. We also learned today from law enforcement that the masked gunman used ammunition with the words deny, defend, and depose on it. Those words could be a reference to strategies insurance companies use to try and avoid paying claims, but detectives are looking into them. Here's a look at that video of his face. In one shot, he appears to be smiling. A senior NYPD official said when the shooter went into the nearby Starbucks, he bought a water bottle and 2 protein bars, but later threw them out. Police now have them as evidence. Investigators are also looking into a cell phone that was found along the route they believe the gunman took after the shooting. New York City's mayor told MSNBC this morning that detectives were, quote, on the right path in their search for who killed Thompson. The county sheriff's office in Northern California says 2 kindergarten boys are in extremely critical condition today after a gunman shot them. The shooting happened at an elementary school yesterday afternoon. Local police say before he opened fire, the gunman met with the school's principal to talk about enrolling a student. Detectives are now trying to figure out if that was a legit inquiry or just an excuse to get on campus. They're looking into reports he may have targeted the school because of his affiliation with the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Investigators say the gunman took his own life after the shooting. New at noon, Denver police arrested a man in connection with a shooting last night in the Ballpark district. Dennis Armstrong is being held for multiple charges, including attempted first-degree murder. The shooting happened last night after 9 p.m. near 22nd and Market. Police say Armstrong had been shooting a gun near 22nd and Blake. He then ran towards Market Street and shot a man riding a scooter. The victim was shot in the hand and taken to Denver Health. Police say Armstrong then got inside an apartment building at 21st and Market and pointed a gun at another person who ran away. Armstrong then left the building where he was taken into custody. Right now, police are still investigating if the shooting was targeted. Our 9 News Investigates team has learned the dentist from Aurora accused of his wife's poisoning death is also accused of plotting to kill a total of 3 people from jail. We've known James Craig was accused of trying to get someone to kill a police officer. Our sources say one of the 2 additional intended victims was a second officer, along with another person. Craig is in the Arapahoe County Jail waiting on his trial for the death of his wife, Angela. Late last month, his attorney withdrew from the case. The next day, prosecutors filed new charges, including solicitation of murder. Craig is set to be back in court December 16th. In just a few hours, a former Larimer County Human Services caseworker who lied about meeting with families is set to be sentenced. Sandra Spraker claimed she met with about 10 families about cases. But when contacted, some of the families were not even aware that there was a case about them. It was concerning because at least one of the families had a history involving serious injuries. Spraker later did admit that she lied, but she didn't say why. She was charged with 99 counts and pleaded guilty to 3 of them earlier this year. Spraker's sentencing is set for 3 this afternoon. The town of Morrison is getting rid of its police department. City officials say that there are too many financial challenges, despite the money it's brought in from its well-known speed traps. The department has 9 full-time officers, including the chief, but he's been out for the past month pending an investigation. The town won't say why. The Jeffco Sheriff's Department told us they've been in charge of overnight law enforcement for 4 years. Morrison officers were only on duty during the day. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office confirmed it doesn't plan to take in any of those current employees of the Morrison Police Department. Today's weather is a rinse and repeat from yesterday. Beautiful December day with nice temperatures. And joining me now is Kathy Saban with our 9 News Weather Impact team. Kathy, this is going to last a few days.
I know. And you know, this time of year, Lauren, when we have a pattern like this, the other shoe's going to fall eventually. And it will this weekend with a storm that could bring snow, not just to the mountains, but right here to Denver. But let's focus on today, shall we? Because it's just about perfect out there. We had some areas of fog on the eastern plains early this morning, but now skies have cleared, visibility improving, and temperatures are warming. 43 43 in Denver, 40 in Greeley, 42 in Fort Collins, and 45 currently in Grand Junction. Winds are pretty light right now. We've got them coming in out of the north and west, aloft, and then at the surface out of the east. And that's part of the reason we saw that low cloudiness and the fog early this morning. But our mild, dry weather pattern for Denver should last through Saturday ahead of a weekend pattern change that will mean snow for the mountains and the possibility of snow for Denver by Monday. You wouldn't know it, though, looking at the regional radar and satellite composite, but high pressure has the polar jet way to the north of us. And so for the next 72 hours, calm, quiet, with just a few passing high clouds and temperatures above the average of 46. We were 65 the other day, 57 yesterday, and we'll be back in the 50s this afternoon. But what about that snow and cold, Lauren? I'll have the extended forecast in detail for you, and that's coming up.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Kathy. Aurora police say the people seen in the videos showing armed men in an apartment complex are most likely out of the city. This is from back in August at the Edge at Lowry Apartments. It's at 12th and Dallas. Police say the men broke into the apartments and threatened people. Officers have arrested 3 of them so far. 2 in New York were found last week. ICE says both of those men are members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. APD says through their investigation they believe the other 3 fled the area, although they won't say where they believe they went. Aurora police are also reviewing guns seized in the New York arrest last week to see if those are connected to any crimes here in Colorado. The number of 911 calls from one of Denver's hotels turned homeless shelters has gone down significantly since the city of Denver took over security. From January 1st through March 17th of this year, there were 211 911 calls at the former Doubletree Hotel off Quebec. That's an average of 2.7 per day. Going to throw some more numbers at you. Data from DPD shows that once the city took control from the Salvation Army, the number of calls through the rest of the years dropped significantly. From March 18th up until Tuesday, there were 240. That's an average of less than 1 call per day.
We saw things we were worried about then. We had real safety concerns, and that's why we thought it took dramatic action to change course on that.
7 people died at the hotel shelter from December of last year through the end of March of this year. But in the 8 months since, only 1 person has died there. The Denver office of the medical examiner says the majority of those deaths were overdoses.